Our mind does not process negative language. It simply doesn't. Because through our evolution, we're more connected to negativity. When we are still cavemen or cavewomen living in caves, it was more about survival and how to think what negatively could happen to protect ourselves. And our mind has been wired for thousands of years this way. Now we're evolving mentally and we're changing that way of belief and understanding that negative language is not being processed. Then we need to speak positively to ourselves. And the whole story started in 2010 when I was living in Egypt with my girlfriend at that time. I was a marketing manager for a German company. I had invested in a little business, and so all my savings were invested in that, and I had my work, and the relationship was not that stable until the revolution hell broke loose. My girlfriend made a choice to tell me then that I want to be out of this relationship. My life transformed in 1 week from somebody who's being stable in life to losing my money in my investment, losing my job, and lost my relationship. And I was back in my home country, Lebanon, in 1 week with no money in my pocket. When I was back at my parents' house, I had physical pain, knowing that I was not hurt physically, but my mind still managed to create the illusion of a feeling. Good thing here is that it got me a chance to think how much our mind has powers over our thinking, our environment, our people around us, our friends and family. NLP provided me a very strong tool to manage my emotional state, my mental state, my language that I speak. How can I influence others and how can I influence myself to develop and learn in my life? Anybody who achieves something in their life, it has to start from what do they believe about themselves. Do they believe they can do it or not? We teach our kids how to eat, how to walk, how to exercise, but not how to function the most important tool that we have in our body, which is our brain. How do we deal with it? Most of us are totally unaware. Why do we believe this? How do we believe this? How can we change that? This is called the wheel of life. And as I was saying, these areas that we have in our life, we're talking about contribution to society, fun and recreation, personal development, business and career, finances. These areas are connected in our mind. They cannot be separated. There is always, for every person that we know, there's always one or two leading areas that if they work on and they improve, everything else improves. From 0 to 10, if I ask you in your life today, if you would give yourself a grade from 0 to 10, what would it be? Anything less than 5, it needs work immediately. What is the difference between successful people or successful mental state or successful businesses and non-successful? Is it possible to learn how to be successful? And that's the major question. And yes, it is. It is very simple. You take this method, you start applying it in your life on a daily basis, and then you start seeing things changing within yourself first and your surrounding others. Cause versus effect. We all have complainers in our life. People who are at the effect side of life, or as we call them, the victims. So we move people and we shift them from being at the effect side of their life to their cause side of life, to be the cause of what's happening in your life. If it's good, enjoy it successfully. If it's bad, learn from it, create value for it, and move on. So it's always a win or a learn. Support versus sabotage. Here I want to tell you guys about the different kind of fears that people have in their life. Fear of failure is one of them that is very common, but there is fear of success too. Some people are not capable of perceiving themselves succeeding and being and learning. So that creates sabotage. So what do we do in our head? 6 things that we usually do. We see things, images, that is a reflection of light. We hear sound, we taste, we smell, and we have feelings, and most importantly, we talk to ourselves. Nobody is crazy here if we think that we talk to ourselves. Some people have 2 voices in their head, some people have 3, some people have a committee in their head, and there's a usually a meeting happening all the time. That is normal. So if I tell you now, whatever you do not think of the Swedish flag. What are you thinking about? So even though I said, do not think of the Swedish flag, your mind had to still think about it to stop thinking about it. And where focus goes, energy flows. So how do you speak to yourself is something that shapes your results in every area of your life and that wheel of life. Do you say, I want to be rich, or I don't want to be broke? Big difference. We think it creates the same motivation, but it doesn't. Because if I'm thinking I don't want to be broke, that's what I'm thinking about. How to avoid being broke all the time. I'm not thinking about being rich. How to succeed or not to fail. To remember or not to forget. To be active or not to be lazy. Either you believe you can do it or you believe you cannot do it. In both cases, you're right. Because that's how the mind works. If I believe I cannot do it, the potential of me doing it is going to be very low. I'm not going to take so much action to do it. I'm going to get the result that I failed at it. Then the belief will be stronger that, see, I told you you couldn't do it. And that creates a more negative pattern. To take that belief, would change it in any area of the person's life. And then they're going to take huge potential. It's going to increase the potential of doing it. The action they will take is humongous. They're going to work on it on a daily basis. And then once they get the results, they achieve it, now the belief is stronger that, see, I told you I could do it. And I want to thank you very much for your time. You've been great listeners. And I'm open to listen to your questions, please.
First, applause.
Thank you.